Hello friends, and it is time for some more fun with our Minecraft Forbidden City build. But today, actually, what we're doing is hunting for gold, which has proven to be quite the challenge for me. And so one of the ways I've been going about collecting it is by tackling ocean monuments. Because if you didn't know this, at their cores, they have a pile of about 8 gold blocks, which is not a ton, but it's enough to make it worth it for me, especially because they're actually really stinking easy, and I'm going to show you how to do them. Excuse me. I happen to know where one is, going off this way just a little bit, so it's only going to take us a minute to get there. And then we will set about trouncing us some Elder Guardians. And you don't need to have, like, water types of armor, even. So, like, respiration is not required for this particular trick. What you do need to have is a conduit and some pieces of prismarine. And you can collect the prismarine from the monument itself, but it takes forever because you have that mining fatigue buff that is put on you by the Elder Guardian. And typically there's going to be 3 of those, by the way. But they are actually really easy to deal with once you know what you're doing. So let's see if we can't find that temple, or monument, whatever it's called. And we're off. Swim, swim, swim. I do have the Depth Strider and Aquatic Affinity on my armor, and both of those are very useful for this because they help you swim faster and help you work better underwater, so you don't get slowed down in digging things out and the likes underwater. But that's not it. I'm going to say it was at 11 something. I've already taken out about 5 so far today, which is not nearly enough, obviously. I need just so much gold. But, as you can see, the character down on the map is starting to come along. And I think starting to look really good, too, with the gold. There's a geode. Let's see if we can get down to it, just for funsies. Yes, you're dumb. Ah, there it is. I said geodes. So you can dig down into that, and then it's like a hollow pocket, which is kind of funny. I suppose we'll get some air now. Respiration. Up, 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 up. There we go. Ah, and there's the monument too. Excellent. And I have everything I need to get started. They're in my hotbar, as you can see. And this is also a really good way to get a lot of ink sacs sort of passively, because the Guardians will kill all the squid. There's the Elder Guardian, aka pain in my neck. Good night, I love you. Little bird's bedtime. Alright, so I always like to give myself a little platform here to work with, and then I'm going to drop down and put a sponge, place my conduit on the sponge. Now go out, one in every direction, with this prismarine that I've brought from a previous monument. If you have to, you can sit up on the platform and work down. And then the last thing is pull that sponge. And there it goes. So now that we have the conduit, we can breathe underwater. And so we're not in a hurry, really, to do anything. And so I always like to go just outside of that space and put a hole. Switch to my sword. As you can see, I have sharpness 4 on it. There's our first Elder Guardian. It's going to be in the top of the temple. And 1. The other two tend to be down around the bottom, and then some of the regular guardians will show up in here, but they're not that tough. Especially if you have decent armor and, netherite with respiration, aqua affinity, mending. We got thorns on that one, lots of unbreaking and mending, some depth strider. But the other two are going to be down a ways lower. And of course, every monument's laid out a little bit differently, but most of them are pretty predictable. And if you have, efficiency 4, or 5 if you're really lucky. Oh, well, that's the bottom. Never mind that. I'm already on the bottom. Cheers. I don't always keep track of my elevation when I'm doing these. So instead of going that way, we're going to go this way. Okay, sword time, and there's number 2. If you're concerned about your health, which I'm very much not, you can have some, and I actually have them in my inventory, as you can see. Golden or enchanted apples are fair game. Mostly I just go through food. Alright, let's find number 2. Oh, you're going to be around the other direction, huh? This is also a great way to get the achievement for being underwater for 24 hours. If you have the conduit on, you can just come on down. Where you at, dum-dum? Gonna be. There you are. Oh, I like it when it's stuck in the corner, then it doesn't get knocked back. And that would be 3. So now in about a minute and a half, that mining fatigue's going to wear off, and I'm going to be able to dig like normal. Because I've taken out all the annoying monsters. But until that time, it's faster for me to swim around and go back in the way I came out to find the heart chamber. Pretty sure I saw. Oh, for mine's sake. Is it up there? Yeah, it was. And these rooms with the dark prismarine tend to be close to what I call the heart chamber. But not always. I know I saw it. Was it back down there? Ooh. Yeah, that's where I went out. Oh, maybe it's adjacent to this mess. Swim, swim, swim. Ah, there's what I was looking for. No. That's not it either. You're just being rude. Well, fine, be that way. I no longer have that bad buff. So there. Alright, let's figure out where this thing is. Did not mean to do that, but whatever. Here's our exit. So we know we gotta be close to the heart chamber because it's usually toward the bottom and middle of things. So let's go back this way. Go. There it is. So this is what we're here for. And that's it. So now I can just go out through the exit, the main entrance as it were. And, you know, if you want to harvest other things from this, now it's easy. And these guys are annoying, but they really can't do much to you. A lot of times I will sleep here. Just because it's easier. And that's how you take out an ocean monument. I will be back here shortly once I get back to the city. Are back, and after spending the better part of 5 days basically digging for gold, I've come up with almost 2 stacks of gold blocks, between looking for the ruined portals, because they sometimes have them, and running around in the nether, and largely just going around in the Badlands, underwater, underground, underwater, Oh, why did that end up there? Oh well. Ooh. Alright, so must have been from when I was laying out these lines. To make sure I didn't miss any others. That's weird. But we can start filling in some of the lower sections with what we've got, which is kind of fun, and then we'll be pretty much done for today. Not a huge update, but I think that the ocean monument thing is pretty fun. And if you've never tackled one, well, maybe you'd be a little more confident with them. They're not that hard. You just got to go in with a conduit. Okay, there's that part. And of course, going with gold has been a really big challenge, but I think I think I probably said this already, entirely appropriate for this particular build. I probably could use yellow concrete, and I may for some of the less important buildings to have the plaques, but this is going on one of the central buildings, and those are kind of the most important, so I feel like it's just really appropriate to have it be gold, actual gold. Alright, 5, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that was 5 days of work. This was, months of accumulated. And if we get up here, we can see it is starting to take shape. If you actually read the language, you'll have to tell me in the comments if you think that this is, besides being kind of slow, well, it's blocky, but you'll have to tell me what you think. My penmanship, as it were, isn't fantastic, but it is still pretty nifty to be able to do this. And then when I start doing more complicated characters, I'll probably have to go to a more zoomed out map, just so I have more pixels to work with, because this is basically ends up being a really low resolution map. And I'll probably go in, and there's some little places like there, where, there's one sticking out that I might like trim off and that sort of stuff. But otherwise, that's pretty much all we've got for Tuesday. Make sure if you have suggestions or any, things you'd like to see, please put them in the comments. We definitely want to do things that are fun and that people are interested in. Thanks for hanging with me. I'll talk to y'all again on Thursday.